Welcome back to the Daily Taoist with Nemo. We are talking about the Tao Te Ching and how to get back into spirit and alignment with the way. Today I will be talking about the 40th verse, living by returning and yielding. 40th verse. Returning is the motion of the Tao. Yielding is the way of the Tao. The 10,000 things are born of being. The being is born of non-being. I see one of the greatest teachings of the Tao Te Ching here in the shortest of its 81 passages. If you can master the wisdom in these 4 lines, you'll be as happy, content, and centered in the Tao as any sage. With the first word, returning, you're being nudged towards an understanding of the basic principle of your existence. Without needing to leave your body, you are asked to die while you are alive. Accomplish this by realizing that you are one of the 10,000 things that has appeared in the world of form. What Lao-Tzu is expressing here in this 40th verse is the contemporary quantum physics has confirmed many centuries later. Particles do not come from particles at the tiniest subatomic level. Instead, the infinitesimally small specks are collided in the particle accelerator. There's nothing remaining but waves of particleless energy. In order for you, a much bigger speck, to form, you must have come from the originating spirit. Now, Lao-Tzu may have known nothing of quantum physics in the 6th century BC, but he was teaching an essential truth even then. It is the spirit that gives life. So to truly live out your destiny as a piece of the originating Tao, you must shed your ego and return to spirit, or you can wait until your body dies and make your return trip at that time. 6 centuries after Lao-Tzu dictated the 81 verses of the Tao Te Ching, the man who wrote a huge percentage of the New Testament also spoke of whence we came. Formerly called the Saul of Tarsus, he became known as St. Paul, an apostle of Jesus Christ. In his letter to the people of Ephesus, he wrote, "You are created to be like God, and so you must please him and be truly holy." Ephesus 4:24. This is an invitation for us all to return to what we came from, which is a loving kind and not exclusive in any way. How is this accomplished? According to St. Paul and Lao-Tzu, who emphasizes this point in many of the verses of the Tao Te Ching, you do so by yielding your ego, surrendering and being humble. And to that end, in his letter to the people of Corinth, St. Paul quotes Jesus directly, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." Paul goes on to say himself, "Therefore I will boast all the more gladly about my weaknesses, so that Christ's power may rest on me. That is why, for Christ's sake, I believe in weaknesses, in insults, in hardships, in persecutions, in difficulties. For when I am weak, then I am strong." 2 Corinthians 12:9-10. Indeed, yielding is the way of the Tao, as well as the key to an uplifted existence, according to the virtually all spiritual texts that have existed over the centuries. When you truly change the way you think about all of life, the world begins to look very different. You begin seeing everyone and everything as if they have round-trip tickets. You know they all arrived from spirit, and you know they must return. All that composes also decomposes. And whether anyone understands that isn't important to you. You find the awareness that life on earth is a death sentence to be a liberating and amusing viewpoint. You're choosing to live every day, each moment that you have, and as much as you can, as the non-being aspect of your life. As a being of spirit, you decide to use your return ticket while you're still in the physical form by keeping yourself in precisely the same loving status that you occupied before entering this world of boundaries. As you take your return journey, you not only get to lose your ego identification card, you have the added bonus of regaining the power of your source, which is the all-creating power of the universe. You merge into the oneness of being who dissolves ego concerns, and the world that you now see is perfect and infinite in nature. There is no more worry, anxiety, or identification with your possessions. You are a free person. You're a spiritual being first, last, and always. This is what I feel Lao-Tzu is telling you in this brief yet profound teaching of the 40th verse of the Tao Te Ching. Monitor your direction, emphasizing returning and yielding. Mentally make an effort to assess every step you're taking in all aspects of your life, including your career, your relationships, and your health, in terms of directionality. That is, ask yourself, in which way am I truly moving? Am I getting away from my originating place, or am I returning to it? As you make this assessment, you can be more forthright about returning to, rather than moving away from, the Tao. A resolution to exercise or eat more nutritious foods is a step taking you back to the well-being from which you originated. A decision to suspend your ego and take an interest in another person is a movement back to the Tao. A determination to be generous rather than hoard is a choice to be in the return motion. All of these actions come from your thinking first about the direction in which you're moving, away from the originating spirit or back to it. Surrender. This is what yielding is all about. Recognize that your little ego does nothing, and the Tao creates everything, including you. As I sit and write these words in my magical writing space, I know that I don't own what mysteriously appears on the paper. I've surrendered. I know that God writes all the books, composes all the music, and erects all the buildings. I bow to this all-creating power. Well, it appears that all of the 10,000 things are born of the world of beingness. As I think about it more, the beingness itself came from non-being. It is to this glorious state of non-being spirituality, or the Tao, that I yield. I encourage you to do the same, and then peacefully observe how it all flows together perfectly. Do the Tao now. Strategically place a picture of a yield sign, frequently found as a traffic device within your field of vision. Every time you look at this sign, use it as a reminder for you to return to the Tao. At least once each day, rather than continuing a disagreement, secede on the spot. In the midst of talking about your own achievements or basking in the light of your own ego, stop and become an instant listener. The more you yield each day, the more you return to the peace and harmony of the Tao. A very short and profound verse by Lao-Tzu. Yielding and returning rather than letting your ego mind take over. This is something that I'm reminding myself as I move through life, or I flow through Tao. I realize as a person I ebb and I flow, and there's some times where I'm 100%, and my spirit and my mind and my body are all in synchronization. Like this morning, I woke up on time with my alarm without having to struggle to wake up. And here I am doing the podcast. Something that I told myself that I wouldn't do unless I was 100% in synchronization with myself and my mind, my body, my spirit, and the Tao, and that I was truly feeling the verse that I was talking about, right? I am actively living and practicing these verses as I talk about them, all right? It's not something that I'm pretending to be or pretending to do. It's something that I am. The Tao is a part of me, just as it is a part of you, and as a part of the never-ending cycle of returning. It's like Lao-Tzu says, we are constantly returning back to the source from whence we came. This body, this corpus, it's just a vessel for the spirit, right? You are of spirit and you are returning to spirit, right? We are all energy patterns. That's all we are, right? We've just decided to manifest in human form or animal form or digital form in order to exist. I believe at a certain point we are going to become completely one with everything, and that's great. That's the resting place. If you can truly die while you are alive, then you're truly one with the Tao. You're one with yourself. You're one with the universe. You're one with the originating spirit. And I don't care what you call it, if you call it God or spirit or creator, whatever you use, it doesn't matter to me. And it shouldn't matter to you. Everyone has their own individual relationship with spirit, with faith, with God. And as I do this podcast, my faith, my spirit, my downess, if you will, becomes better, it becomes stronger, it becomes more refined. And I catch myself in the middle of conversations realizing that I'm drifting, and I have to bring myself back to a present moment, awareness and attention, and listen to the other person, what they're saying, rather than planning the next thing that I'm going to say. I'm actually going to listen to what they have to say, right? And there's this famous line out of the Tao, is those who know do not speak. And I've been trying to do spaces on Twitter or X for a while now, and I realized that I don't want to talk at people. I don't want to. That's not who I am, and that's not what I'm about. If you truly resonate with what I'm doing, what I'm teaching, where I'm going with this community, the Daily Taoist, All Truths Only, the Doomer Bloomer Institute, and Yukon Gold Global, I urge you to join my All Truths Only mastermind, my community. Join my school community. I will put or pin the link in the description. And don't be afraid to reach out to me on DMs, Twitter, Instagram, at the Daily Taoist on all handles. Will Nemo everywhere else is my other online persona. I'm here to help, guys. I really am. So don't worry, be happy. I have a podcast offer coming out. If you need help with your podcast, getting it started off the ground in 28 days or less, choosing a niche, choosing your podcast schedule, how many times you're going to record, even all the way up until monetization, right? Catch up with me, join my coaching program, and we'll go from there. As always, guys, I love each and every one of you in the Mandelbrot universe, and I hope you have a great and prosperous day wherever you are in the world. Cheers.